Meeting's called to order. Let's stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come thanking you and praising you for all the wonderful blessings that you've given us. Father, I'd like to pray a hedge of protection around our county as we go into the winter months, as having some bad weather. We know that you will look after us and protect us. Be with each and every one of our council members, Lord, as they try to make the best decisions for our citizens. And thank you just for my health and for allowing me to be healed and to be better, to be with the rest of the council. Thank you, Lord, for everything you've given us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the first thing will be a roll call.
James Ward, present.
Lindy Hubanks.
John Miller.
Jonathan White.
Eric Gillespie.
What are we doing?
Roll call.
Diane needs moments.
John Collins is absent, okay. You got everybody? Call for acceptance of the agenda.
No, we're gonna do, you have to do reorganization first.
Reorganize the board first.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're gonna reorganize the board first. So I'm calling for a motion for, or idea of move for president of the board.
Nominate Lindy Hubanks.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, any questions, any discussion?
Are there more nominations? I mean, are we doing more nominations
That's
now?
what I'm
Want to do
saying.
somebody else?
Oh, she's on.
John Collins.
Then you will call and see if there were any other nominations.
Do you want any other nominations?
Is there any, well, let me just kind of open it up a little bit. Is there any, disagreement among anybody that that's what we want to do? I mean, JR has been the vice president. He wants to be the president. We'll change it. I can nominate him and we can vote or do whatever.
I open the floor for nominations.
Mine will be the same as White. I nominate Lindy.
Okay.
We're good.
Are you trying to say something, Eric?
Huh?
Are you trying to say something, Eric?
No, I just don't want us to all be sitting here going,
I'm teasing.
well, we should have said something.
I'm teasing.
I'm gonna be vocal, I'm not
Okay.
running again, they can do whatever they want to me.
Okay.
So, anyway,
Okay.
I'm okay with all that.
All in favor of Linda Hubanks for president?
I'm staying from voting for myself.
All against?
He raised his hands for.
I did.
Yeah, I saw it, I saw it. I saw
You
it.
did that for me? Thanks.
Now you're
As long as I don't
on the
have to
seat.
do it.
All right, take it
Okay,
over.
Lindy, I hand you back the meeting.
Okay.
You want your gavel?
She's already got the
No.
books anyway, so.
Okay, so now for, vice president, I'll open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I nominate Darryl.
I second that motion.
Okay. Any questions or concerns or comments?
We're just making some big changes here, I don't know if I like it.
Okay. All in favor of J.R. Ward being vice president?
Are you abstaining?
Is everybody? Okay. Congratulations,
Thank you. Same here.
Mr. Vice President. This is a hell of a turn.
Congratulations, Madam President.
Okay.
I'm gonna nominate John White.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So the 2024 board appointments, we are going to table that as we have some questions on some vacancies. So we will revisit that on, well, I'll take a motion to table the 2023 board appointments until February.
I'll make that motion.
2024, sorry, 2024. I'm sorry, who is that?
I made that motion.
John
I second it.
Miller. All right, I have a motion by John Miller, second by John White.
Just to be clear on mine. It's not really, well, one, it's not really an appointment, but my contract, they just re-upped it last
Yeah.
year, so the date will be changed. It's till 12/31/20.
All in favor to table the board appointments until February? Any opposed? No? Okay. All right, so I am going to amend the agenda. We have the Scott County Soil and Water Conservation District. They'd like to speak to us. So I would like to add that to the beginning of our agenda. We have a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
JR, second.
I second.
Diane, okay. All right, all in favor to amend the agenda? All right. All right, and the agenda is amended. A motion to accept the agenda.
Motion to accept agenda.
JR
I'll
motions,
second it.
John Miller seconds. All in favor to amend the agenda?
No, to accept it.
To accept the agenda?
As amended?
As amended, thank you.
I was just missing a slide.
All in favor, do we all go? Okay. All right,
All right.
that's on you.
So my name is Tanya Williams, and I work at the Scott County Soil and Water Conservation District. I am the coordinator. I've been there for about a year now. We are back to having our in-person annual dinner, and it is scheduled for Friday, February the 1st at the high school at 6:30 p.m. It will be catered by Jim Collins, and we will have a guest speaker of Mr. David Coates. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. He's over the economic development
What time is it?
in the state of Indiana.
What time is it?
So I am here to give each one of you a ticket to our dinner. If you would like to come, please do so. If you know anyone else that would like to come, please invite them. You can get tickets over at the Soil and Water Conservation Office, which is at the USDA office there by the license bridge. The address is on here as well. You can email or you can call. We can put you on a list. Or we would like to have a count before the dinner so we know what to tell the caterer. So I'm just passing along this information. If you know anyone that might be interested in
Thank you.
coming, just let us know. Don't expect a whole lot. This is my first year, so
Sure it'll be
the
fun.
guys aren't being really helpful to me.
The guys never are.
Thank you, Wendy.
That was
That's a smack. in the
No,
face.
that is from experience.
Eric, you ready to withdraw that?
Take one nomination.
That is from,
He is withdrawing you.
hey, I have put on enough of those Lincoln Day dinners for myself.
Well, I can say maybe, with you know, maybe say with that, but now,
Because I didn't know you were
talking about.
It's okay.
I joined, but I didn't know why.
But it's a
talking
real
about-
short little presentation, and there are two, John Harden is stepping off of our board. He just went in for a 3-year term, but he has completed 1. So we need to elect 2 because Wendell is coming off. So we've got 2 spots. Anyone interested in being on the Soil and Water Board? Love to
John
have you at our meeting.
John Collins.
Our meetings are the 3rd Thursday of the month. And I do have our Facebook page that I'm just getting going, so if you want to try to look at that, or reach out to me at any time there at the office, I'll be happy to try to answer any questions. If I can't, I will get the answers for you. Anything else? Thank you so much for getting,
Thank
I
you.
know it
Thank
was
you.
short
No,
notice.
you're
Thank you for the
fine.
ticket.
You're welcome. We try to do that, and, yeah, I think, I mean, it's a nice meal if nothing else, and you can put faces with our board members. But we've got John Donahue that's wanting to come on, and Clinton James. So I'm out there trying to get some of these younger guys interested in this, so we can kind of get things going a little bit more so than they have in the past. So, okay,
Thank you.
thank you, I appreciate it. Can I leave, or do I
Yes,
need to?
no, you don't need to stay. You can leave. Thank you. All right, Michelle, clerk.
I've been,
I'm just here for an
update. We have applied for the HAVA grant, and we received the HAVA grant.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I just need to create a line item to accept these funds from the Secretary of State.
Do we have a line item created?
What's the grant for?
I wrote the grant for $25,941, and I received all of it.
You did?
Yep. Thank you.
Somebody make a motion yet?
No.
I did.
I just need that also signed by you as the.
I second it.
Do you have a line
Do we
created
have
for
a
that?
line item created for that yet?
No.
Yeah, we literally just got the announcement, and the Secretary of State was here Friday, maybe Thursday, Friday, I don't remember what day.
I'll need a copy of that as well, Michelle.
So
I
what
said
is
I
your,
emailed
what is your
Assignment.
to create a line?
I
Okay.
second it.
I think
Yes.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I have a motion on the floor by Eric Westby to create a line item to receive the HAVA grant funds, and I have a second by John Miller. Any questions or concerns? All in favor to create the line item to accept the HAVA grant funds? Everybody? Yep. Any opposed? Oh, all right, 5-0,
Yeah, that's it.
6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Olick. Go blue.
You talking about UK?
No,
They played that same.
no, hail to the victors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good night. Okay. Okay. Well, there's a ticket.
These fancy paper clips.
That's a pretty fancy paper clip.
I know, I just said he has the
Is that
fancy.
in budget?
You know, it was 100 of those for like $1.12, so yeah, it is. Take one off and feel the structural integrity of them, you'll change your opinion.
Oh, yeah. It just looks good.
It looks fancy.
You want it back? I'm all about saving money.
That's fine, I'll take it back. Alright. First thing that I wanted to go over was our financials for the end of December and the end of the year. December ended at $196,953. Training ended the year at $31,000. And paramedic ended, the total program ended at just shy of $80,000. So that's where those are. December run volume at 407. So total revenue for last year for EMS was $2,100,031.48. With the paramedic program was $2,139,039.48. I started the year off with a beginning balance in our cash ledger of $592,639.67, and we ended the year at $1,152,096.48. That was a growth of $559,456.81. Revenue in 22 was the 1.6, revenue in 23 was 2.1, so that was a $500,000 growth in a year.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah, all day long.
Yeah, Nick.
So, total runs for last year were 4,721 runs. That was down a whopping 1% from last year, where we did 4,801. And you can see the breakdown there. And then, transfers out of the hospital were 1,120. Any questions about revenue or run volume?
That's transfers from Scott County to somewhere else.
None?
Good job.
Your ambulance is back, is getting most.
One. We got one back. We got it back last week. Okay. First thing that I'm here for, at the end of last month, we did that additional appropriation that I came for. I did not receive most of the invoices. So I didn't know if we could reappropriate that, because I can't encumber it now since the invoices won't be dated before the 31st.
It's not appropriated in your 2024 budget, you have to ask for an additional appropriation now.
So it would have to be advertised and reappropriated. Well, it was appropriated for 2023, correct, and it wasn't, so it went back into the
And I
general
don't-
fund at the end
I
of.
don't need it, like, I've got
or back into
my
wherever.
accounts are fresh, I just wanted to make that known that I think I ended up asking for close to 75. We spent, I think, right around 20, and I'm asking for
So
like
this-
40 of it back.
So this is what you would need
To use my fresh budget without doing it, I just didn't get the invoices, I didn't get the invoices from the vendors before we could submit for claims,
so we'll get it advertised
Okay, yeah.
for February.
Yeah, that's, I don't need it now, like I said, I've got the line accounts are open now, cause I haven't spent anything this year as far as that stuff's concerned, but I just wanted it to be known that I didn't end up, the 75 that was appropriated, I spent, I think 15 or 20 of it. That's what I got invoices for, and on here, there's 20, 15, 35, 43, so 52. So it's still under what was originally appropriated, so.
And what fund is it being appropriated from?
Mine, my bank account,
EMS?
yeah,
And you want them appropriated to these funds?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That would just make me whole for this year's budget, and if not, then I'll be back at the end of the year. It's whatever, but, I just wanted to make that known that I just didn't get the invoices in, so I can't encumber it. The second thing, I'm gonna hop around so I don't forget to do this, is a grant request. IDHS has opened up a grant for EMS this year, which is crazy, but it's for training only. And commissioners approved for us to do it, and then I'm here to ask if that we can do it. It's a non-matching grant, so we apply and either we get all of it, part of it, or none of it, but we don't have to match anything. So I just wanted the grace is of, getting,
And you've already, the commissioners have already.
yeah.
I so moved it.
You're making a motion
Make a
to,
motion, whatever, I move motion, whatever.
Diane's gonna make a motion to,
I don't think there's anything that needs a motion. He's
We-
just asking for,
we
has to.
always do.
for him to do it.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
need it signed.
Oh,
Yeah, we
gotcha.
always do. So Diane made a motion for EMS to apply for the grant, training grant,
Yeah, it's a EMS training equipment
EMS,
grant. is
EMS
what it
training,
is.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
JR, second, I have a motion by Diane, second by JR, all in favor? Any questions, concerns, no? Any opposed?
Was it for?
It's 80,000, but they can do more or less. I think they go up to a certain percentage, so.
When would you find, I mean, not that it matters, but I'm just curious.
I believe it should be within the month, so by March.
I mean, I was just curious, it doesn't matter, but.
I think we have the ability to do a percentage off that, so I think it can actually go up to about 96 is what we can be awarded for it, so, yeah. Thank you.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
You're good. You want that, so I don't lose it?
Yes.
Last thing on my, stuff here is, the striker bill that we all have come to love and know so well. Normally the bill is, I think $154,735. This bill has $7,663, I think, in late fees on it. I called to talk to them. I'm not on the contract or the signature or the signee. I can pay it, but they won't talk to me about it, so I can't do
Who
it.
is the?
Stryker
Now,
Financial,
who's on there to talk to?
her and Mike.
I talked to Zach about this earlier today. He was aware. He said that those were supposed to be
Yeah, they're
waived.
supposed to be waived, that's what they told me, I know that's what they told Zach when Zach was negotiating all this.
Because
I
we were like 3 or 4 months late,
Yeah.
but they said as long as they got it by the date last year, they would take them off. They got paid by that
Who
date.
negotiated that, Zach?
Mhm.
Alright, well then I think Zach probably needs to call back and say,
Well-
hey, we negotiated the late fees.
Yeah.
They pretty much told me, cool,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Send it
So I've been playing in my my sandbox with it, but, either way, it's due in March, and I don't want to have what happened last year happen this year, so I'm greeting you this year with it. Just food for thought of, I guess figuring out where we wanna pay it from, if I'm gonna pay for it, if we've got other avenues. I'm here, all ears on what you'd like me to do. I just, again, don't wanna wait until we're past the date to figure this out, because I'm sure there'll be questions, I'm sure there'll be all of that. I went to the commissioners just to let them know, same thing, went to their first meeting, let them know we've got this. They were gonna talk it over with Zach and amongst them, because Randy wasn't there, and I'm gonna be on the schedule for next week to go back and see what they've discussed or propose anything that you guys might have ideas for it. Yeah, it can obviously run into February, it's just due in March, and I didn't wanna wait till February, have to advertise stuff and then do all that, so.
Is there anything we could look at trying to do out of that ARP fund to
There is, it have to be advertised, but it would have to come from the commissioners first. Commissioners would have to say, this is what we're,
Well, he says, I think it was actually Nick that negotiated that, but I do have a number that I can call if I need to.
I haven't talked to any of them, ever,
because he's not allowed to.
yeah. My name not on there. It's on the bill.
I was waiting for him to say, no, Nick did that.
I would be in support of
Nick did not do that.
using ARP funds if we can to keep Nick on board with, I mean, we've kinda got a plan.
Yeah.
And I think you're working very diligently, as the numbers show, to achieve that overall goal. And if this had been something that you entered into some contracts, and I'd say you by all means need to pay it, but you didn't. You took on this debt, and I think it'd behoove the county to, if we could use some other funds to pay that,
I just saw this rotation.
to alleviate that debt from you, which would set you back probably a year or two on your overall goal.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I feel like I've been pretty transparent with the timeline of funds and growing and all of that, and obviously, we don't know what, I mean, the world that I live in is that we don't know what our run volume is gonna be this year, and we don't know what our pay rates are gonna be, like, that's the unknown. You know, this year, we had an amazing year, I mean, we beat the record of revenue by over $500,000. So, I mean, that's a testament to our crew and all of that, but, I mean, I can't control, I mean, our runs could go to 100 a month, and then I'm in a real big pickle. Right now, I can sit here and say, yeah, we can take it out of my cash ledger, but like you said, if we take it out of my cash ledger, that's setting me back of what I'm gonna have in reserve and what I'm gonna have for my budget the rest of the year. If that's what I have to do, just like I've said, I'll make it work and I'll figure it out.
So I think
But another issue that I've got is, which it's not on the agenda and I'm not here to talk about it tonight, but I've been getting by with about 4 or 5, I think it's 5 radios that we have for our station that work. I can't keep doing that. I initially had scheduled in to get a vehicle into my budget this year. I'm not gonna do that because the price of vehicles has skyrocketed, so we're just gonna deal with what we got. So radios are gonna be like $100 grand. I've got money to cover about half of that. I mean, so if I have to do both of those things or whatever, I just can't keep running off of the 4 or 5 radios that we have. I mean, it's becoming a safety thing. Just, you know, when we have multiple patients and my crew split up, one of them has a radio, the other one doesn't. So
Do you have any 911 phones that we can use for that?
I'm fully expecting to pay as much as I can pay. I mean, it's radios for us, but
you go to the commissioners and ask them about the ARPA funds for this stuff, Nick?
I can.
And
I hate to set you another year behind.
And I think if we communicate with commissioners and say this is what we're thinking, you know, at least they'll have an idea of what, you know, to expect when he goes into talk to them.
I believe they're on board, not to jump in on you, but I think they're on board with this overall end goal of being
Yeah,
self-sufficient and, you know, you not being on the tax roll type thing as
We
much as we are. So I would hope they would work.
And I've got help along the way, and there's no.
Right.
and we just can't do anything with the ARPA funds unless it comes from the commissioners.
Oh, I'm aware, and I didn't intend to come in here and talk about ARPA just because I didn't know that was on the board, and I didn't propose it to the commissioners because I just don't want to be the person looking for a handout. I guess needed advice or conversation on what we needed to pursue here. Like I said, I'm fully expecting to take it out of my budget, but if we do,
Zach says they can't use ARPA funds for that.
For the striker, but we can,
it would have to appropriate it to a line item and then use that line item for something else, is my understanding. Because I think we looked at doing that with the ambulance that we had a loan on. It's kind of like the same thing we did with the opioid stuff.
Is there any money left in that opioid stuff?
Yes.
Cause stretchers haul people who have opioid overdoses.
What's in the unrestricted opioid?
Well, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if we appropriate some of that for your motors, we talked about it. No,
No.
okay.
No, all of that came out
Okay,
of,
that came
all of
out
that
of-
came out of my budget, or not my budget, my
But I'm just thinking,
cash
I
flow.
mean,
Oh, it's because the contract wasn't ever bid. So if we got audited on the striker contract, then we can't show the federal, they're required for
wasn't put out for
procedures,
bid.
cause it wasn't put out for a bid.
So could we pay salaries?
No, you can pay salaries out of ARPA funds, you can pay bonuses, you can't pay salaries. What's in the opioid unrestricted, do we ever decide?
Unrestricted?
Yeah.
What's there?
or take the ARPA and pay that ambulance off and money from that.
I'm on a payment, so the payment this year
Wouldn't
is
matter.
70.
Says for the same reason we can't use the unrestricted opioid, cause it's federal and it has to be bid out correctly. Not enough in the unrestricted cover the striker amount.
What about other line items that aren't salary? Like, I'm just, if we're looking at ARPA or on, like, medical equipment or, you know, fuel or any of that, those things.
You'd have to have it to bid probably, if that's the case, if it's a federal.
Because they're all federal money, what Zach's talking about is they're all federal money, you have to
Low
bid. Yeah, you have to bid them out under federal procedures when you use the ARPA money. So even if we put it under medical supplies, then you have to go out and bid your medical supplies and stuff. Yeah.
Which would be 3 companies, you have to go with low bid.
Is there any line where we have $161,000?
Unrestricted is 87,000
Yeah, and we can't use that.
and opioid restricted is 135.
You could, I know you can use that for salaries, because we did it last year,
The what?
the opioid money,
Opioid.
Yeah, if they do it with opioids, yeah.
so.
Alright, well, we'll start
Markets, we'll have to be creative about it.
Yeah,
There
we'll-
was
we'll-
80 what,
87 and unrestricted.
And the unrestricted.
and how much in the
I
other?
mean, I feel fairly confident
100
that
what?
this
135.
late fees will go
In-
away.
in-
Because I remember they told
Restricted?
us it was, so that puts us to 150, what was it, 152?
Yeah,
If you can use-
154.
If you can use a 135 and put that in his payroll out of that goes a whole lot for paying $150,000 off.
we'll explore all of our options and we'll get it.
Let's,
I just, like I said, wanted to start the conversation, so we're not, I didn't
Do
expect a
we need
decision tonight, but just conversation
the
and,
commissioners and
I think you,
work this out.
I can reach out to them and see if they wanna, if they
Who?
can do
Like
the,
joint commissioners and
joint,
you, and we all
yeah.
just sit down and figure this out.
yeah,
I'm,
so I will,
Then all the powers to be here at one table, we're not trying to make decisions for stuff that they oversee
Yep.
by any means, and same, we're there to communicate, and we can work together and figure out how
especially
we
if you
can.
have both attorneys and
Oh.
everybody, all the
Yeah.
questions can be
Yeah.
asked.
I'll reach out, tomorrow
I think that'd be
to
probably
Mike and see
the
if we can get
quickest way
something
to get it
together.
done without meeting to meeting, cause we have a March deadline.
Yeah, and I don't remember the exact, I don't have the invoice in front of
I
me.
wanna say like
What's the
7th.
meeting?
I think it's very early in March, like the first week or two in March, so.
Advertising,
48 hours.
48 hours, okay. See, so you're here.
I actually told Zach yesterday, I thought that you guys should do at least quarterly.
So I'll reach out to Mike and see if we can nail down a date, and then we'll get that advertised, and then we'll come in and we'll see what we can figure out.
Okay, like I said, I didn't expect a decision, just conversation on what we wanted to do here, so.
Alrighty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
No
Dave.
problem.
Good job.
Thanks.
There's the total amounts, the late fees,
Is it 154, 155?
153,994.
Okay.
So 135 is a whole lot pretty much.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, I know there's the salary option there, because that's what we had to do for the one thing, so whatever powers that be decide.
Alrighty,
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
alright.
I'll give you the grant thing.
Yes, you got it.
You have my, I was like, where's my pen?
What the hell about?
You have the black one, I can't take that.
Alright. What's going on with Marty?
Lots of things. In November, we came up with funding
that we were going to use, for Michelle Watts for training as she took over my place. That did not work out well. You know, it just didn't. There were too many dates that we had to meet that we couldn't meet. And so you guys got the, in the letter requesting all those transfers. I believe that was December, that you granted that. Well, of course, Michelle did not start working in the office, the Plan Commission office, until January 2nd. So now we have $2,500 that we would like to encumber and keep to pay me so that I can train her through January. And when I say through January, she has got so much to learn down there that I'm surprised she hasn't pulled her hair out by now. But she's very orderly. She makes notes. She makes samples of things that are performed down there, the packets that we make, the applications that we write. And so she's really catching on very well. She will be a very good director. But we need more time together, we've decided. And so we are asking to leave my employment open-ended until she feels confident enough that she's got as much information as she can for me so that she can run the office and we don't have issues or anything going on that's going to cause troubles later on.
Does your salary ordinance have a spot for part-time or 2 positions in it?
No,
So it'll have to
so
be-
that's why we request the encumbrance so that we can cover that. I only work 21 hours a week. So
It's a reverting fund though, right? So that money would have already reverted back to the general fund
Right.
and have to be reappropriated for 2024 because it's a new year. It's not just as simple as transferring it to somewhere else or something. Because we're at the end of our fiscal year.
well, I was advised to handle it this way, so whatever you
But-
say,
Well,
that's great.
what do you mean by encumbrance? I don't think I understand what
To
you're meaning.
encumber what they have
For
put in.
2023?
Yeah, from 2023 to
I don't
2024.
think that would revert.
Bigger problem is you only have,
If it's
you
only
have to
20,
change the salary and add a position.
right, and it's only 2,500, and if you're asking for your position to stay open-ended, you're gonna need more than $2,500.
You definitely have to amend the salary ordinance.
But if you remember, I think we all said that it'd been nice if she came in last year.
Let me see
Oh, I know.
Somebody
how we
hard,
can do,
I know.
or she
when
did
the
a job
deadline for
shadow, and
encumbrances
that never
is.
happened too, so. And what she does is very important, especially for this county, so I don't see,
Well, when you've
So-
got a one-person office,
Yeah.
it really leaves us up the
Exactly.
creek.
I'm not in any way saying I'm against it.
No,
I'm
right.
just saying-
Just make sure the way to do it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pleased to hear it.
I'll keep you on forever,
Yeah.
but how are we
No.
gonna cover it, and are we gonna, cause I don't want us to be cutting checks to people who don't have a budgeted salary,
Yeah.
is my issue.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like encumbrances, you can hold over some of the prior year's budget if you guys approve it. You have to have a reason for doing that. I don't know that this is really one of those enumerated reasons.
Do you have any,
So I mean, like Nick's, if it was
Timeline idea.
budgeted for last year, we probably could
If you
encumber
look
it.
on your December minutes, it showed where they were moved over. We moved them into
Training.
training and meetings.
In December, you moved them to training and meeting,
Mhm.
but now we wanna move them and put them,
So-
encumber them and put them in a salary.
Or leave it in training.
I don't think you can pay
I don't
someone
I don't
else.
think you can
up.
pay somebody out of training.
Okay.
You have to have a salary.
Salary.
Well,
because it-
darn,
Because it would be a
Position.
salary, I mean, it would be a pay,
okay.
you know.
Can we
But you could-
create a temporary
you can do a part-time,
position?
you can do a part-time.
That's what I was
position,
saying,
yeah.
part-time.
Yes, but the problem
Oh, I've
with
always
that-
been part-time.
The problem with that is.
Now, Nick, she probably could encumber,
The problem with
because
that is,
he just wants them
leaving
to
it
go back, he just
open-ended.
needs to pay those bills.
when it wasn't
Hers is gonna be different
budgeted.
because
Well, I talked to him about
You know,
that, 'cause I
the
said,
part-time was not budgeted, so there is no money there, so even if we encumbered the 2,500,
that's what we
that's
used to do,
all
we
that's
will.
there,
What
that's all that would
happens
be there.
when the part-time people that comes in and helps with elections and stuff, is could we do something like that with her?
But it's already in the budget.
Yeah, it's already
And that's what we're running into, so we would have to,
Create a part-time
Create a
position, set a
part-time
salary
position.
for it, fund that, and then pay out of that.
right,
But you,
and,
but you don't know it's gonna be a
So,
month or 2 months
for
or 3
his
months.
encumbrance, I just need a resolution to allow him to encumber.
That's what I'm saying.
What she's saying is since the invoices are dated in.
I'd really like to be able to
Oh.
leave by at least the middle of February.
So,
By the end of February.
but that reverted back to
So
his
you're
fund
already- you're already looking
at
at-
the end
you're
of
already looking
2020.
at
Okay, so
Christmas
we
month,
will have
next
to do
month.
additional appropriation.
Is there a way we could just write it where we basically pay her a bonus to stay till she gets her trained?
Or contract services or
Contract
something.
services.
Contract services?
You're still gonna have to appropriate it, you're still gonna have
We can
to
appropriate,
do
we
a.
can
Well, that's fine, but then you don't have to
No,
open up the budget.
that's not how additional appropriations work.
regardless of what,
I wish.
of how we
Yeah,
decide to do it.
they're
we're
really
gonna
supposed to
have
be only emergencies, but it seems like everything's an emergency.
$2,500, cause she's hoping a month, maybe 6 weeks or something, you know, she's saying open-ended.
Well, the thing is that we can't do an encumbrance because it's in your training budget, and you're not paying training, you're wanting to pay a salary with that.
Right.
So what you would have to do is do an additional appropriation, which has to be advertised and done by ordinance, and then you're going to have to advertise and amend the salary ordinance. And do a public hearing on the salary ordinance amendment. So it was gonna be at least mid-February. It might cost $2,500 in advertising and attorney fees, honestly.
Would it be possible to use, is it contractor services at that line item?
Just create a line item and
zoning.
contract with her.
I mean, you could, but she's not gonna have benefits and she's gonna have a different.
I don't have benefits.
So just a
honey.
well, I mean, honestly, you might wanna ask a tax attorney, cause I'm not a tax attorney, but I don't believe she would qualify as a contractor, cause we control
Then you
her
get
mode
a
and our
1099.
operation. Yeah, but we control your mode and the way you know, where you work, your work that you do, that's not considered a 1099. That's an
Well, not now
employee.
you don't, because you'd be doing it on a part-time basis helping her, so she won't come in every day.
Doesn't matter part-time or full-time, it matters who controls the workload and the direction.
But she won't be doing that because she actually be training.
Well, the new director would control that.
That's a
I
fine
don't-
line, I know, but still, that's.
You can call the IRS and ask them, but I do not believe that that would be a 1099 kind of job. If you
March
look at
before
the
you talk to
1099
them.
versus employee on the IRS website, I don't know that that would be a contract. A contract would be us hiring John Miller Heating and Air to come in
Yeah, that's accurate.
and redo our system for us. You're not an employee of us. We're not saying when you have to work, how many hours you gotta work, who you gotta train.
Yeah, we'd have to create a vendor ID number for you and go through that whole process as well. So yeah.
I'm trying to be creative, but
I know,
I don't
I
have
don't-
creative solutions.
I don't know.
Government's
I don't know
not very
how
flexible
to-
sometimes.
Short of doing all the advertising and amending the salary, I don't know how we would get around it without doing it that way. And like you said, by the time we're done doing that, which it would put us in February, you know.
Is there another line item for her budget for 2024? We could do a resolution to transfer in February? Unless you wanna call a special meeting to do it?
I'd say they only have like 5, 6 lines, I think. It ain't much.
I don't think there was any part-time.
No, cause we moved her part-time to full-time.
And the travel, the 2,500 we put in travel would have reverted to 2023. We can't encumber it for something different for 24.
But they have part-time in their budget.
So about the only
How
creative
did we do it when
option
we
would
had
be to
Teresa come in?
transfer.
Pay for it then.
They have part-time in their
They
budget.
had part-time in their budget.
Okay.
We don't have, or she
And there's
does
no
not
part-time
have.
built into her.
So
Correct.
going into 24, you only have the one salary for the director.
And so
I mean, I
that's,
was just
yeah,
asking,
so
I
that's
couldn't remember how it was
so
done.
that's the problem that we're running into, is that there's no position to put money into.
And in the salary.
And in order to do that, we
part-time
have to
position.
advertise to amend the
Well,
salary,
yeah, if you
plus
amended it to add
advertise
part-time, you
to
would have to
do
do
the
an
additional
additional
appropriations to
appropriation.
move it into that line item on the salary.
Unless you have someplace we can
So we-
transfer.
Number one, we need an end date.
So that I can figure out how many hours I would be obligated to work.
I think that
Okay.
would help as well.
And then,
Well, in your budget, what did you leave for your salary this year?
nothing.
Nothing. She was supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
That was the original plan. I was leaving the
So
28th
it really,
and never
it's
darkening
an
the
additional
period.
appropriation, if we don't have anything to transfer, it's an additional
Yeah,
appropriation.
it's 100% an additional appropriation and
I mean,
part-time.
where are you gonna take the
Well,
additional appropriation?
Well, I mean,
They didn't
a
give
good
her a part-time
question,
salary, she
Eric.
should have left at the end of the month.
Right.
you're an employee
And so if
now.
it's the 2,500 that reverts
I'm down
back, I mean, we
Just
could
continue
do
to-
2,500,
You wanna quit.
additional
Have
appropriation
you
of
gotten-
2,500, but
Given them a breakdown of anything that rolled over at the end of 2023? So we know,
Employee.
Well, can she go ahead and do the job that she's doing, is she got everything
We are
appropriated
still
and
in the
bigger
process
for her
of
time?
that.
because we need to
trying
know
to-
like where we can do additional appropriations, like housers,
She's willing to do
staff, how we're gonna pay her, she was supposed to be gone at the end of the year, she didn't
She
budget
is not
for
employed. January
So-
1st, I guess.
herself for this year.
So we're in the process of going through each and every fund,
Mm.
identifying, where we have negatives in the funds and working through that whole process.
I guess the long and the short of it is you didn't budget for yourself after December 31st, so
right.
there's no way to pay you, so,
right, yeah, and so that was, because the whole plan was
yeah.
No
December
way that I did
31st.
it done before.
So even if you did an additional appropriation, you'd have to figure out where you're going to get the money for her pay from, because she didn't
Right,
budget it, because she
for it.
didn't expect to be here this
Mhm.
year. So, yeah, I'm not even sure that's doable. But I mean, now that she's worked after her end date,
Right.
you're gonna have to pay her for the 9 days she's worked, or however many days.
Okay. Well.
So attorney, what's your advice?
My advice is she shouldn't have worked past December 31st. I mean, that's up to you guys, I mean, you need to know, do you have the money to pay her? And I don't know that we could do indefinite.
The some office have part-time, capability that she can work under? And would that be ethical to work?
No, not if they're not you, that'd be almost like ghost employment, cause you're paying her to
Do a job.
do a job for somebody else that she's not doing, so I don't wanna go there.
If it's set up for training.
Oh,
why can't
let's
we
try it.
contact
No,
the
no, no, no,
others?
no, 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 no,
Federal
I'm
prison
not,
doesn't sound good.
no,
Because
prison of any
training
kind does
is
not sound good.
that's-
I would not survive in prison.
She is not.
Love you, but I'm a hard no on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
She's not, even though she's training somebody, she's still working as a, from us.
Employee.
Training would be going and training. We can't
A
pay
third
her,
party.
a third party, we can't pay her out of the training budget to train somebody.
She'd have to create a corporation or something.
Yes.
An LLC.
Contractor.
Which is
And
a-
then
I'm
do
sure
it
you
that
do
way.
that.
So I'm back to,
Yeah.
you're gonna
That's
have
not
to
even-
appropriate and do.
Could you say that again louder?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Said she'd do that for 2,500, I'm sure.
Yeah.
LLC.
I mean, you're back to an additional appropriation, where are you gonna get the money and amending the salary ordinance? So we would have to advertise it, come back next month, pass an ordinance for an additional appropriation and pass an amended salary ordinance. That's pretty much where we're at, because there's nowhere within her budget to even transfer money into a
Right.
part-time position, or else you could just do a line creation and transfer it in under a resolution, but, so there's no money there to really transfer.
There's no money and and if we did that, then we're gonna have to come back at the end of the year or whenever and do an additional appropriation to put the money back into
And
those
that's
line
where
items,
we're-
and that's what we're trying to
Total
avoid.
budget's
Yes,
40,
please.
what, 48, 49,000?
So that-
That's your total budget for 24? And I doubt.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it could be
With,
indefinite.
with,
You only have
just her
25
salary.
hours, you know.
I've got $51,501.40 as a total budget estimate.
Yeah, she working part-time or full-time now?
She is working full.
Well, I mean, what's their
And-
salary
and-
line item?
Yeah, salary line item is, 35,053.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to pay her because she's worked. Unfortunately, though, what's the handbook say? Your end date, you resigned as effective December 31st, right? So who approved you extending that?
It just needed to be done.
Well, and we talked about it in the last council meeting, because that's why we made all the line
But
transfers.
it was for her to come in and do the training before the end of
Yeah.
the year.
Well, we
Yes.
said it was gonna start then and go through, or we talked about it that way.
Yeah, cause I even asked you, are we bringing this lady on?
Because you're the one that didn't want
Before-
to be there before.
Because with all the holidays, I was
Yeah.
like, is it even gonna work?
So what you're gonna have
Well,
to
it
do is pay
didn't,
both
you
of their
were right.
salaries out of that line item, and when we can't pay
That
the,
and COVID just,
and when we
moved the
can't pay
whole
the
thing
new
out
lady
of the
anymore,
water.
she's gonna have to come and ask for additional appropriation. But I mean, you have, I mean, who's has your oversight of your office?
Commissioners.
You're not an elected official, right? So.
oh, no,
So the commissioners, I mean, you would have had to give them your end date, right?
and I did,
Okay, and what end date did you give them?
December 28th.
Oh, it's not
Okay,
even the
so what
31st.
I would do is go to the
That was the
commissioners
last
and tell them
Thursday.
what your new, get approval for your new end date, because now technically you're not, more than, you're 11 days, 12 days over your end date, so you sort of screwed yourself there. I mean, I guess they would be well within their rights to say, you know, you stayed over, you volunteered for the last 12 days. So I mean, you really need to go to them if you're gonna do a
I think-
different end date.
Biggest thing is
So I
you're
think
gonna
we
have
need
to
to work
figure
that
out
out.
an end date and
Yeah.
then go to
Yeah,
them.
Yeah.
we can't
Get
do,
them to
we can't
approve
leave it
it.
open.
Sure.
I think the
And
best
then
thing to
we
do, we still have to
pay
amend
you
the salary ordinance, cause she's not on the salary ordinance, is she?
She's not now, we'll have to put her on it. If you're gonna do that, you might as well add a part-time position, put her in it.
Where you gonna
with
get the money
X
to
amount
fund
of
it?
money.
That's the trouble.
We'll have to juggle that, I
How
guess.
long have you done that?
You gotta get money anyway,
5.5
she's worked.
5.5 years.
I mean,
Gosh, Marty, come on.
I mean,
So
we're
how
gonna
long-
have to
so-
come up
so
with the money.
how long
for
did
it.
I don't think she's the
Yeah.
only one.
Because she
in
has
the-
to
You just
pay.
go in and
We
figure it
have to
out.
Margaret
I
Van
don't think she's the
Arsdale
only one in
came
the county
back,
who
she
has
had
worked who
retired
doesn't
from
have a
that
salary
office, she came
set,
back and
just to give
worked
you that
there
heads
for
up.
several
She's not
weeks
the only
and
one
trained
who has
me.
worked for this county,
And
is
then
not
she
on the
left.
salary ordinance with the budgeted salary. So,
And I do not know how
Stand
she
by.
got paid.
Well, there could be some part-time people that are hourly, but you still have a set amount of money
She's
that
been
you
5.5
can.
years,
pay
and
them.
she got trained.
So if you give them $150, they can work 10 hours,
She
that's
came
it.
back and trained her.
zero
So how did she
budgeted
get
money
paid back
for
then?
that.
I'm sure not correctly.
Well, then they better find the money somewhere that they're gonna have to give up something. And I know what you're
I'm
talking
just-
about.
Always
and they're gonna
good
have
to know.
figure it
Saying
out.
we
just-
keep
I
paying
mean,
yeah.
people
you
that
know, I
aren't,
mean, we're trying
don't
to
have a
correct
budgeted
things that
salary.
are not done.
Unless
Well, it
they,
needs-
of
we
course,
don't
that,
need payment
I
if they
mean,
don't
that
have a budgeted
office was
salary.
totally empty. They lost not only
They should
their
be getting a paycheck.
director, but
I mean,
their
we can talk about this after the
assistant.
meeting.
And so they moved over to city, leaving the office empty, and then they got Margaret to come back, so that she probably took the administrative assistant's position temporarily. And she worked there for several months before they hired me. And then after she hired me, she trained me for 2 weeks and then left.
I think the best starting point is for you to find a doable, concrete end date.
Okay,
Go to the commissioners, and then that way we can calculate how much money we've gotta come up with.
okay.
And then we can go from there, whether it's,
Now.
you know, create a part-time position or what, however we have to do it, but at least then we know what we're looking at.
Sure.
Because we can't leave it open-ended, it just won't. We're too strapped. I think that's the best starting point.
And I'm gonna tell Zach
You
this.
got $2,500 now, come on, guys.
But do we? Because if you were over budget or something somewhere else, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't done their year end.
And they're working on their year-end stuff, so.
Yours is clear, I can get what we have left of yours, yours is done, so I'll get that.
I feel done, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So that would be I think the first step is
APC is what? APC is what? Area Plan Commission. Gotcha, now that you said that.
did he say what is? Oh.
Yeah, he was the APC.
Zach.
I'm like,
Well-
she's gonna be coming to you. I mean, either way though, we
got
gotta pay her for the 9 days, we're gonna have to amend the salary ordinance.
Right.
You said,
So,
mine's easy, I can
So I
explain it.
told her to go to the commissioners with a solid end date, so we know.
That's why I majored
We're
in
gonna know how
journalism
much-
and not mathematics
Government.
or
We know how
finances.
much we're looking at.
Yes.
Come on.
We also need to know how much that we have
Right.
that flipped from last year, if we have any playroom.
All
Well, you
right.
know you got 2,500.
Maybe, well, we don't know yet, we gotta get the
I would advise you
information.
to write your time down.
Yes.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Keep track of your
Yeah.
time.
keep records of it.
I mean, I guess the commissioners could say, well, you volunteered the last 9 days.
And I would
or
highly
12 days or whatever.
I would recommend
I hope
talking
they
to,
don't.
That's
about
not-
getting on the commissioner's agenda.
Yeah, I've already let Zach be aware that
They meet again
Cause
this
I
month,
can't
don't
put
they?
you on the commissioner's agenda.
When they meet again.
two.
Oh, they meet
A week
Wednesday.
from tomorrow.
So, okay,
So,
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry for all the lively
Good,
discussion.
good discussion.
Can't wait to see your smiling face again.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, seriously, I'm not gonna leave her down there, cause
Right. We appreciate it.
way too much going
Can
on.
you confirm that her 2,500 rolled over and there wasn't any shortfall so that we can do the
Yeah.
additional appropriation and start that in February, at least get her back paid toward, or get that money put back in the salary, so her successor, and then we definitely gotta do the salary ordinance. Alright, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
a
your
delight
service.
to work for you, free or not.
We'll give you some candy.
It's our pleasure.
I think the commissioners will be sympathetic.
Oh, boy. You can come back. and visit
Please, no,
anytime.
I don't need any more than
Right. Let's hold on to that one for a minute.
Thank you.
You're giving me too many puzzles tonight, I'm getting a headache.
Are you agreeing?
And we can't do encumbrances on it, so.
Is there?
You said it's there.
It is there? Well, then, make sure it's on the next one for an additional appropriation, but we gotta do the salary ordinance amendment too.
Just do
I've got it, I just need
It'd be
to.
better
I'll
to
do it,
have
and
them
I'll
run
send it to you.
the part-time through
Thank
us,
you.
and just
Don't-
keep her-
don't
just
read
keep
them all.
it out, don't
We'll go
get
get
that.
Okay.
That's what they need to do, but that's, I know.
All right,
Okay,
Pam.
so remember Health First Indiana, when we did the budget, we didn't know exactly how much money we were gonna get. We were gonna get some extra money for the people that opted out. So we ended up getting another $9,400.08.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey,
So,
Marty, they got it.
We really just wanna put it all. Stop. We just wanna put it all in the contractual services, which is 30100.
It's going into 1161, right?
Yes.
And then you wanna move it to where?
30100, the contractual services.
30100. Okay. It'll have to, I didn't have any idea about this, it has to be by resolution. It's not the same category, so it'll have to be next month, we'll have to do a resolution for it.
But we're getting it, and it's going into the 1161.
Correct, the transfer to
Did we
contractual
get it?
services will be next year.
Or we're going to
Did we
get
get
it.
the
next
money?
month.
I'm not sure if it's been
Okay,
deposited or
because it was
not.
supposed to be like the end of last.
How much was it exactly?
294.
294, 240,
No, she said she got an additional.
9,000.
Additional
Yeah,
$9,400.08.
Okay, yeah, it has come through. It has.
400.
It has come through, good.
So, we've already appropriated the rest of it, right? She's just getting, I just need to
Yes.
take the 9,400 additional that she's getting and appropriate that from 1161 to 3,100, right? To
Well,
contractual
Or are
services.
you looking for
3,100 is the line item within 1161 that she wants to.
To put it in, yes.
Okay,
I'll write it out for you.
yes, please, because your guys' fund numbers and stuff always
Are
just
there-
confuse me.
Yeah.
But I know what I need to do, so I just do a resolution for transfer.
Okay.
As long as I know what they're doing, right?
As long as I know what they're doing.
All right, that was it.
So it'll have to be tabled and then come back next month.
All right.
So we got to table until we
We
have.
need to table it. So do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table it until
I'll second
February.
I have JR motion, second by John Miller, to table the Health Department Indiana first opt-in bonus. All in favor? Any opposed? Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we tabled the board appointments. What's the correction to the 2024 salary ordinance?
I hate to say I can take the one's a Title IV. Tina told me about another one, I don't have it written down. But there's 2 or 3 that we have found that are not, they didn't carry across right, that we've got to change.
We'll have to advertise anyway, so can we get them all together before
Yes, we
February's
will.
meeting, advertise, and then I'll do, if you send them to me, I'll do the ordinances.
Because with this first payroll, we're finding some little mistakes that were made.
Do I have a motion to table the
I'll make that
corrections to
motion.
2024
I'll
salary
second.
ordinance? Miller motion,
Who made the motion?
Miller, White, second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now we have a consideration of regular minutes for December 12th.
I make a motion to accept those were the ones that were emailed to us to review.
Yes. All right, I have a motion to accept the regular minutes for December 12th by JR. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
John White seconds. Any discussions or comments about the minutes for December 12th, regular minutes? Nope. All in favor? Any opposed? That's accepted. All right, I have the consideration of budget hearing,
And I do not
No,
have those.
we don't.
I stayed here till 10 o'clock last
Okay.
night and did not.
so we don't have
I
that.
saw her shaking her head before you even got
Oh,
out of
sorry,
your
okay.
Still working on them.
All right, so we needed to table that then. So do I have a motion to table the budget hearings?
Make that motion.
I'll second
Eric.
it.
I have a motion by Eric, second by White.
Yes.
John White, all in favor to table the budget hearing? Any opposed? All right. All right. I believe that that is it for today. Do I have a motion to,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Get the keyboard.
could not think of my words, so I have John White with a motion to adjourn, JR second, all in favor? Any opposed? Nope, all right, meeting adjourned.